Alright guys, how's it going? I haven't done a video in a while, apologize about that. But today I'm going to I'm starting a series for new miners. This is Series 1, Lesson 1. And these are lessons I wish I would have learned before I started. Um, so we're going to get started with that. And here we go with the first lesson. So the first lesson is going to be about doing your research, okay? You're going to want to look at cost, ROI, the fastest ROI you could get for your first rig, um, your electrical cost, what you're making a month after electricity, and how to get everything going for as cheap as possible. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is let's start with the cheap as possible. The first thing you want is I've done some research on this, and in the past, I wish my first rig would have been a RX rig or an AMD type build rig. Instead, I did NVIDIA because I'm kind of an NVIDIA fanboy. Now, I like AMDs, I've had them in the past as well, but I just went with NVIDIA. One reason was because you just plug them in and they work, right? You plug them in, you overclock them, and you go to town. AMD requires a little bit more work than that, and so I kind of shied away from it, but I wish I hadn't. So let's take a look here. This is a card I would suggest for any beginner. Um, these are the RX 564 gig cards. So these are the good cards for the 564 gig. Right now, they're $154. Okay, I remember when I started mining, these were going for about 250. So yeah, you could really save a lot right now by buying these. I recommend you buy them up at this price, as many as you can get your hands on. Um, so with this card build, you would be able to buy. There is no more limit right now on Newegg. You can buy as many of these you want. There used to be a one card limit, a two card limit, then there was a five card limit. Now there's no card limit, so you can just buy as many as you can afford. Um, so on that, if you bought these, and the other option is you can build a 3 card rig, you could build a 6 card rig, you could build a 10, 12, 8, whatever card rig. But you have to get the motherboard for that, right? The one thing I wish I would have done on my first build is I bought a motherboard that could hold 6 cards. In hindsight, I wish I would have bought the motherboard, the ASRock H110 Pro BTC, for my first board. I have one of those now, but for my first build, because it can hold 12 cards and I can just keep expanding on my first rig without adding more expense of having to replace the motherboard if I want to add more cards onto that rig, if that makes sense. So you'll save money in the long run. Yeah, the ASRock's H110, it's going to cost you about $80 more, but you're going to have the ability to go to 12 cards right off the bat. Okay, and you don't have to worry about adding another whole another rig once you hit your 6 cards. You can just add as you go, and it saves you money in the long run once you get past that 6. Okay, so if we look at this RX 560, some people might be doubting me on this, but you could BIOS mod these. There's lots of videos out there. Spartan Mining does video on AMD uh, to do the what's it called, the BIOS firmware. You can flash it and make them perform better for mining. And also, Lostcoin has videos on this as well. So look those guys up. I'm not going to get into that because it's already been shown and done. So just look up their videos. It's straightforward. They'll walk you through it. So if we take a look here, and let's go to what to mine. Now, I already know I have these cards now because I bought 10 of these about a month ago. So I paid more than 150. But it was under 200, so it's still a really good deal for me. Uh, I could tell you 12 of these or 10 of these. Well, let's take a look here. Let me pull up the calculator. I know the hash rates on these are 15 mega hash once you BIOS mod them. So that's 150 mega hash. Yeah, I built this with a 12 card, so it's 180. Okay. So the hash rate for Ethash, which is Ethereum, would be 180 mega hash. I know the power on these is going to be, for all 12, is going to be right around 800 watts. All right. And my cost of power here in Northwest Arkansas is 0.065. So after power, I'm going to be making about 795 a day on these cards. All right. Now, here's the important part. Let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Let's take a look at that. So 15 times the RX 560 times 12 cards is 180 mega hash. Your video card hardware cost, I didn't include the motherboard, the power supply, or anything like that. Just your video cards for the hardware cost is $1,860. Your profit per day is $7.95 after electricity. So that's around $240 a month. Okay, that puts your ROI at this at 7.7 months or around 233 days. Um, right now in the current market that we have, anything that you can get that pays off in a year or less ROI is really good. And so you can see this is well under that. So I would highly recommend these cards, especially for a beginner. They're really simple, easy to set up. They don't have a 6-pin power plug or 4-pin power plug, 8-pin power plug, anything like that. They run straight off the riser, which is really good. Just make sure you get good risers and you get a motherboard that you trust that can pull the power through its circuits. So don't get some off-name board is what I'm telling you. Alright, so you see here, that right there, that's what it's all about, especially for your first rig. I wish someone had kind of taught me all this. I just kind of jumped in head first. Yeah. So, and I don't have any regrets. I love mining, don't get me wrong. But if I had someone that shown me this would have been great. Okay, so now that you've got this, I would highly recommend this as something similar, or do some research. There's other cards out there as well. Um, some of the older cards, the R9 380 does really well as well, and you can get those used off eBay probably for, I think I'm seeing them for about, they bounce between 150 and 180 a card. So that is another viable option. All right, so yeah. Now the other thing is the second thing you want to do. Now you could use Windows if you wanted. I I don't honestly recommend it. Windows is good to use for if you use an awesome miner or if you're using NiceHash or any of those type miners. Um, what I honestly recommend for your first rig build is to use Simple Miner or Simple Mining SMOS. You get that set up, watch some videos. It's not that hard to set these up, and you'll have this. And the great thing about this is you can swap around from one coin to another whenever you want. All right, and it's really simple. It takes less than a minute. I can just bam, click this, assign group. I've already set up all my miners. I can pick whatever I want to mine. All right, so that's what I recommend for that as well. And plus, that only costs you a couple bucks a month per rig since it's your first rig. $2, man, come on. You know, you can't get any better than this simple mining. Hive OS is out there as well. It is actually really good as well. I'm thinking my next rig, I'm going to just go Hive OS on it just to have one running Hive. It's pretty solid. It when it first came out, I tried it and it had some bugs. But now it looks like a lot of that has been resolved, and the interface is actually really nice and simple to follow. And there's all kinds of tutorials and videos on YouTube on both Simple Mining and Hive OS. So you want to that's what I would highly recommend. I would not recommend Windows, um, simply because Awesome Miner, you can set it up, you can get it going. It does take a little bit more knowledge to get Awesome Miner running properly and to get all your pools added in and everything else. But it does work. It is an option. So, with that being said, um, this is what I recommend right now. Uh, this is video one on, you know, what I wish I would have done. And the next video, I think I'm going to do more on wallets and how to secure your wallets, what are the best wallets, hardware wallets, how to back up your wallets, because this is cryptocurrency. The word currency, it has monetary value. And just like with if you had $100 bill, you're going to put that in your wallet and it's going to be in your back pocket. And you're going to secure that wallet, right? Someone tries to take your wallet, you're probably going to kick their ass, right? Well, you got to kind of secure your wallets in crypto world too, because there'll be a million jokers out there trying to take your shit. So yeah, that'll be the second video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and look out for the second video on tips for beginning mining. And have a great day.